Hi, I'm Timothy Zahn, author of Thrawn, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast. This episode was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
One is a territory war specialist from Australia. The other is a territory battle tactician from the U.S. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with over a combined 45 years of entertainment under their belt, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The CFH Network presents the Escape Podcast, a weekly show about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Scotty McLaren and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Podcast, we get the alleyway ahead. The Vulture Droid is announced and released. Is it a Buzz Droid or a Buzzkill? We get some answers to our questions. Sort of. The Hoth Ski Patrol's Meow Baca sits down with me to talk about their helpful territory battle infographics. And Scotty and I have some differing opinions. These things and breaking news as and if it happens on a special UK time-friendly live edition of the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Podcast News.
Whoever says that this show is not 100% global, there is something wrong with you, because we have done this show for American time, we have done this show for Australian time, we have now doing this show for our British friends. Hello to all of our Brit friends tonight. It's great to have you on board with us this evening as we do the Escape Podcast at your convenient time. And this is something that we wanted to do, Paul. It's something we've always wanted to do for not only our Australian friends, but also our British friends as well.
Absolutely. And you know, we've done this not just we've done this at, according to my time, normally it's like 6 o'clock ish. We're now doing almost near 6 a.m. We've done midnight my time. We've done noon my time. I mean, we literally are ready almost at any time to do this show. It just, you know, it's a pleasure to be able to entertain the Brits. I mean, they got a lot going on over there, and it's time to put a smile on their face.
Well, they do, but they've got a smile on their face with the way that things are going in the Ashes right now. So I'm sure that you'll be happy about that. And us Australians, we don't like to give you too much at all when it comes to anything. So,
but yeah, you don't want to give them too many. Hang on. That was almost perfect timing. This is normally perfect. The time that I wake up. I woke up 2 hours ago.
Absolutely. All right, mate. Look, you know, this week, let's get straight into it, Paul, my good friend. And, you know, the road ahead came out. We've got to start with that. That was dropped earlier in the week by CG Top Hat, who has now moved into a very strange role, which we'll get into a little bit later on. But basically, I got to say, Paul, that I was a little bit disappointed with the road ahead. And for that matter, furthermore, I was a little bit disappointed as well in the developer Q&A. There wasn't too much really to write home about. I mean, I just feel as if the community right now is flat. It's as flat as what those flat earthers believe it is.
It's not, though, Scotty, because, you know, we did get information. It wasn't as grandiose and drawn out and all that like they have done in the past, but it did have a lot of hints and little things here and little things there
that we already knew about.
Well, yeah, we did know that let's go right down the list. We did know that light side territory battles were coming. I mean,
surprise.
But but I didn't think that it would be in the next 3 months. I thought maybe it would be in the following 3 months. So we found out territory battles are coming sooner rather than later for the light side. Because remember, the road ahead is 3 months.
Well, yes, this is true. This is true. And, you know, they threw a few things in there as well. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the clones were hinted at getting a rework in the last Road Ahead. The Malevolence was
which
hinted
ones?
at. Well,
But which ones? We didn't know which ones, and guess what? We did find out with a hint. There's more than meets the eye. It's a freaking transformer of a Road Ahead.
well, yeah, you're right. But, you know, I mean, yeah, sure. They said the 501st, basically. There's 501 reasons as to why. There's 500 different iterations on which ones we should update, and that's the 501st. And anyone that has paid attention in the Clone Wars era, you will know that Rex, Echo, and who's the other one I mentioned earlier today, Paul? I can't remember. But Rex and Echo are definitely 501st. And Fives, they're 501st. All of them. All three of them. So there's your reworks of what's coming. Could Clone Trooper get one? Who knows? Probably not. But they're the three that I reckon. And they also say here that we hope fans aren't too divided on the ones that we selected. Well, no, Cody is not a part of the 501st. He wasn't a part of it. He was a part of a different faction of clones. I honestly thought he was, but until I looked it up, he's not. He's part of some other weird thing, Cody was. But anyway, moving on. And look, I got to say that, yeah, when they say that we hope that fans aren't too divided on the ones we selected, well, obviously there's Rex. That's Rex. Rex has been probably the best leader in this game since day dot, since he came into the game. And here we go. We're looking at a Rex. We're looking down the barrel of a Rex rework. Yeah. So, yeah, Cody was 212. That's right, 212. So, yeah, he wasn't 501st. So, there you go. There's your three that you're basically looking at here in terms of a rework. Moving on, and
let's not move on too far, because they continue to talk about the light side territory battles, and but revealing would strain our benevolence. Of course, once again, we called that on the special edition that we did when that was released right after we went off, just as we were going off the air. But then the next line, and this is just the next paragraph after they gave us a hint on another one: you won't have to scavenge for long, as the light side reeks of great content.
Now,
so we have
know
the
about the
Nexu,
reek.
we have the Acklay. Yeah, we have the Nexu, the Acklay, and now the reek. I'm pissed that we don't have a Nexu. The Nexu was my favorite of the three.
Well, it could be
three
coming.
monsters in the battle.
I mean, it could be coming. We'll get to that in a minute. That could be coming in some form of another iteration, actually, Paul, because, well, let's bugger it. Let's do it right now. Because they did say in the Q&A, the developer Q&A, that there was going to be, they're working on it right now, another Malik level type event. And if we're in Clone Wars era right now, well, you see what I'm saying? We're probably going to get the third, and that's going to be the hardest one of the lot to take down, to try and get yourself another character. Scavenge for long. Is it a reference to the Jawa scavenger? Yeah. Now, this is interesting, because in the developer Q&A, I've got to say, I was looking at scavengers in scavenger, like what sort of scavengers are we looking at here, and I honestly thought that we might see a Jawa rework, because that they don't usually just throw a line in like that, Paul, unless there's some form of a hint towards something. And in this particular instance, I think they answered that in the developer Q&A in relation to the gear pieces that are going to be, you're going to need to have your lower tier gear level pieces and try and get your high gear pieces as well to form into some form of a giant new thing, which is unlocking the iconic power that we're looking at for your Darth Vader and your Hermit Yoda. That's what it said. That's the way I looked at it. Paul, what about you? For me, the scavengers, a lot of people want to say,
a lot of people were pointing towards Hondo being a scavenger after he was a pirate.
Yeah.
No. There also were no Jawas that I can remember in Clone Wars. So this is entirely out of left field, and maybe they made a mistake in saying scavenge. Or maybe we finally get the long-awaited and oft not requested Scavenger Ray rework.
I don't think it's that. I just have to find it in the actual forum post, and it was in relation to exactly what was going on with that. They were saying something along the lines of, you're going to need to get scavenge for smaller, the new nodes for the new currency for the new shop, basically, to try and get yourself the Darth Vader helmet and things like that. Bear with me, Paul. I'll just try and find it. But there was a bit in there that they were talking about with that.
But I guess we're moving on to the iconic items. So
yeah.
I talk a little bit to Biscuit Weasel about this, so we have a good laugh. It's not Biscuit Weasel, I'm sorry, Biscuit Weasel. No offense, and also Meow Baca. No offense. Did not mean to get you guys mixed up. We talked to Meow Baca of Hoth Ski Patrol later on about these iconic items, and I honestly throw it out a few ideas, especially one about your favorite character.
Padme?
No, Rose.
Oh, Rose Tico. Oh, thanks, mate. Rose
welcome.
Tico. I love Rose Tico. Look, I can't really find that particular post, Paul, but there was something in the post, and it was in relation to that they were talking about the gear level that you were going to have to use. Give me a second, man. I'm still trying to find it.
They had said that of the things that you have. I don't know why this is going off again. It's early morning. I wake up to R2 screaming. It's the best thing in the world. So, they talked about using some of the things that you have collected. Here it is. Maybe our goal is not to make the game feel more truly connected to the Star Wars galaxy, but also reward longtime players for all their dedication over the years and make players feel like everything they've collected and amassed in the game matters. Is that what you were looking for?
That's exactly what I was looking for.
It's at the very bottom of the Road Ahead post.
Yeah, right. There you go. And it's basically talking about the different sorts of gear that you're going to need to go and scavenge for and things like that. I think that's got something to do with the Road Ahead there. That's where they were talking about the scavenging. I mean, let's face it. When we're gearing up gear, we're definitely scavenging. Are we not?
That is very true.
So that's the way I looked at it from that point of view. I mean, I was thinking of different characters originally, but then I saw that and I thought, ooh, okay, that's very, very interesting. That intrigues me in that front. So, yeah, they were talking about the new shop and things like that. So, yeah, crazy stuff.
If it's another shop, and with it being another shop, oh my gosh. So they should just turn the stores into just the mall. Yeah. And they should spell it Maul.
Yeah. I like it with Darth Maul.
Everything will be half off.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I love it. Fantastic, Paul. That's one of your best, man. Look, I'll tell you,
Oh, it's stolen. I half the jokes I do, they end up being things that I've heard in the past, but they just have perfect application right then and there. So,
so moving right along, and back to the road ahead, and I guess you could say Ki-Adi-Mundi. Well, in fact, we can say Ki-Adi-Mundi is confirmed. That's a given, especially with the slapping your forehead with
some people thought it was Jar Jar, but we'll get into that shortly.
Yeah, so they were talking about that. So basically, we can confirm that Ki-Adi-Mundi is coming to the game in some iteration towards you, so you'll be able to get that. the benevolence thing again. I mean, you know, and now I'm going to come back to full circle, Paul. So, you know, apart from the unlocking the iconic power, which I'm still jury's out on that for me, I come back to the fact that we already knew all that stuff that was in the road ahead.
Yeah, and it, as I said, it was short, so it really wasn't a road ahead. It was more of a driveway ahead, or a alleyway ahead, as I alluded to in the intro. You know, but there was a lot hidden in that in that post. In fact, I just need to double check, because for those who aren't aware, I am aware of something that might be... No, okay, so I don't think that there's any sort of hidden puzzle inside this road ahead.
No, there's not.
But
no, there's not.
I wouldn't put past Crumb in an upcoming post. Check every single post by Crumb, and it's not going to be the pictures, I don't think. I don't think that it's going to be anything, you know, any links or anything. Check his text. That's the only thing that we need to keep an eye on if it's not already blatantly obvious that there's a puzzle amassing. Check his text. Check capitalization. Check things like that. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Definitely. There you go. That's straight from the puzzle master himself. Excellent. Okay, so Paul, you know, I got to talk to you about what's happening in game, and you know, we've got that developer Q&A. Now, I know that I sent you some screenshots, which I wanted to really delve into here. And
all right, let me pull them up here while you're...
You know, like one of the things that they discussed in there was, is there anything in the pipeline to attract new players, or is the game past that stage? They say that because, you know, look, there's been a lot of people talking about the game, and is the game actually working, and is the game doing this, and is the game doing that? Well, hang on, before I get into this, Paul, wasn't there a post that came out earlier in the week about how many players have actually downloaded the game?
It wasn't a post, Scotty. It was a article from somewhere else. But 80 million different installations of the game, unique installations of the game, have happened. Yeah. Now, for those, I am going to say this. That does include alt accounts. That does include, you know, so... I'm not being negative when I'm saying this. I'm just looking at the numbers, because unique installations of the game includes alt accounts. It also includes, for me, I've installed this game on 3 different computers, if you will. I have 2 BlueStacks, and I have my, 4. 2 BlueStacks on 2 different computers, my iPad and my iPhone.
I've had to delete the actual game itself and reinstall it.
That doesn't matter.
Right.
That one doesn't matter.
Right.
Because it's the same device ID.
Uh-huh.
But it's unique device IDs.
Right.
Of the installations. So I don't know if the iOS version will carry over, because it is the same Apple ID. But anytime that you download BlueStacks and you start a new account, or you go to link something, that counts towards that 80 million, in my opinion. Now, they could be using data that shows individual users. They could be talking about accounts itself. But the way that the article was worded is installed on devices over 80 million times. Right. Well, there you go. So, still, I'm not discounting this in any way. You know, me and my numbers. Let's pull up the calculator, and we're gonna say 80 divided by 3. Let's say each person has installed the game on 3 different devices. That's still 26.66666 all down the line million players.
That's a lot. Where are they?
Exactly.
Why aren't they listening to this podcast?
Well, I mean, they alluded to some of the forums people and the podcast people and the videos people and things like that when they said there is a silent majority.
Yeah, that's true.
I would, and you guys don't have to speak up. You could listen to our podcast and just enjoy it.
Exactly.
You could be silent, and we could be the silent majority that just listens.
Well, look, I wanted to cover this a little bit. Is there anything in the pipeline to attract new players, or is the game past that stage? Top Hat says, we're definitely on this. We're currently in pre-production on a handful of ideas to tackle it aggressively. The big question is, what is required and how do I get new players to the part of the game where everyone else is having a blast? And then they're going to try and build some features around trying to make that happen. So, they're saying it's not dying, it's not past its prime or anything like that. So all the fear videos that have been out there of late, that's not happening. So that's at least according to Top Hat himself. The drop rates was a great question by whoever asked this. It has been noted by many that when a user gets closer to fully maxing a character, gear or shards, that the drop rates decline. Are we expected to believe it's all based on RNG? All we really want is the truth behind what's going on. Cyanide says, I mentioned this in the last Q&A and mentioned it a few times in my forum posts. We do not change drop rates based on anything. If shards from Cantina nodes have a 33% drop rate, then that's that for every player regardless of whatever else is happening. Crumb then says that there was a great post on Reddit the other day confirming this, but he's not sure what else they can say to prove that this isn't changing. All they can say is do your investigation with a large enough sample size.
Yeah, and remember, luck is probability taken personally, said by Carrie.
Yeah. Here we go. This is the from the post itself as well. Could you imagine something like a Jawa junk trader where different tier gear can be traded for other gear or higher tiers? We could absolutely imagine it. And CG Sven says that's actually pretty close spiritually to what we started with this idea. Paul, and that's the one I was looking for.
That's in the iconic items topic.
Yes.
Yeah, I just need to point that out. So they're talking about the iconic items and how they're going to, go through it.
Yeah. You'll be exchanging both lower level and higher level gear for new materials. There's currently no plans to have an exchanger of low to high level gear. They think that's already covered by the shard shop. Look,
I had a problem with that because
154 million. I'm sorry, I'm going to jump in here, Paul. I saw that. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to say this. That is incorrect. The shard shop does not cover that gear. I'm sorry, it does not. I was absolutely ropeable when I read that last night. And Paul, I discussed this with you at length. And I said to you that there is no way that is covered in the shard shop. It's covered, sure, in guild events currency and things like that. That's where it's covered. It ain't covered in the frickin' shard store.
No, and shard and the gear, you can't turn gear into anything else. And so they misspoke. They absolutely misspoke, and I don't understand why it wasn't clarified.
I agree. We think that's already covered by the shard shop. What, is there going to be a change to the shard shop? That's the question now we need to ask, Paul. Is that going to be changed?
Maybe the shard shop is where this is coming. I can't... just like the accidental slip of the tongue about the whole Zetas. Maybe Shard Shop is where we will talk to this Jawa that is going to exchange everything for us.
Who's the frickin' Jawa? I just feel as if that's a cop out. That's a dead set cop-out. You know, will there be a system implemented to use our overly stockpiled low-level gear to hopefully use as an exchange rate to gain higher-level gear? It's a fair question. And we get, that's already covered in the shard shop. Really? It's not. It's not. You know, this is one of the this is one of the things that I know that from the community that really pisses people off about this game. And the communication that we get. It really, really, really pisses people off because we get this whole thing of, what are you talking about? You know, there needs to be something that's a little bit more transparent. I'm sorry, Capital Games. I love you guys. I love you, you know, Crumb. I think you're a good guy. I really do. But I got to call you out on that, and I want clarification.
Well, note that wasn't Crumb that answered that.
No, it's 154 mil.
It was, yeah.
You know, but we want clarification. What's that mean? What does that mean?
It'd be nice to get, but yeah, we already get such bum exchange rates on you know all the. You get 15 shard shop currency for every extra shard that you have. It's like getting 1/4 portion.
I like where you're going with this. Keep going.
You know, so we already get bum exchange rates. Do we really want to see further exchange rate, you know, devaluation of our gear? No.
We don't.
It's like a, you know, if nobody understands the previous reference, if you're a gamer, you'll absolutely understand this reference. It's like taking a brand new game to GameStop. Oh, you have the latest and greatest limited edition game? Cool. $5.
Yeah. And, you know, JJ Manners tells us in our listener lounge, they will answer that in 3 months and say our position hasn't changed. Yeah, it's true. You know, and this is the thing that Urza was talking about the other day. I mean, I want to send in a shout out to our boy Urz. This is what he's talking about. You know, there's another thing here that he was talking about which absolutely verifies everything that Urza was saying in his rant. And that is where they were basically asking the developers about, someone asked the developers about something. I can't remember what it was. And the developer says, well, we don't have the time or the resources to do that. There was the sandbox mode. That's right. We don't have the time or the resources to do that. Why? This game is a multi-million-dollar game. Let's be honest here. If you've got 80 million players that have downloaded this thing, or 36 million, or whatever you want to do with the math, I don't care. But if you've got that many sorts of people that are actually playing this game, right? Let's be fair here. Why doesn't EA give this game, this community, the people and the resources that it needs? Why? Or a free negotiator.
Yeah, it's... I mean, that negotiator issue was not good.
I don't know, Scotty, Paul. I give up. Sometimes. I just do, you know. Sometimes I've you know, the last month for me, and I hate to be negative, and I don't like doing the negatives. You know that. And our community, man, you guys know this. I don't like doing negatives. I don't like talking about it. But you got to. Man, this let's be honest here. Okay? This last month,
it's tough. It's really tough, Scotty, to be positive in the information that we've gotten. But I'm gonna let you say your piece here in a moment. Here coming up in just a second, but it does end up being extremely difficult, even for me. And you guys know that I'm usually the one pulling Scotty off the frickin' ledge.
This is true. Mate, I want to say this. All right, here we go. I'm going to start. I'm going to say something that I've kind of felt about this game for quite a little bit. I felt as if things are starting to just go down the path of the continuous monetization side of things, where we saw that $160 pack. That was one of the final straws for me. We then saw our fearless leader, Carrie, go. She left. We then get a Road Ahead blog, which is... It's given me nothing. And then we get the next thing, which is a Q&A, where basically we can't get any clarification. It's talking in riddles. And we need the Riddler from the bloody Batman series to bloody try and decipher what the hell they're talking about. I don't know, Paul. I mean, just sometimes, man, like, you know, in this past bit of I'm feeling my passion for the game starting to sort of to die, man.
I'm not going to lose the passion for the game. But, you know, when it comes to what we're being told, what did I ask for last week? I asked for 3 simple words. Do you remember those words, Scotty?
We hear you.
And I don't think that we have. And there's opportunity for them to change that. And it needs to... The feat of Capital Games... You know what? No. This is the point that I wanted to make. I apologize. I'm going to slightly rewind here. I don't think this is entirely Capital Games' fault. I'm thinking that this is Electronic Arts' fault.
I agree with you.
I think that Electronic Arts and Carrie parted ways, and because of that, she had to leave CG. And that's why Eric posted something on behalf of CG. I'm not privy to the exact details, but this is not Capital Games. And EA, we get it. You guys have all these things where you're doing... You've got home consoles. Mobile gaming is bigger than home console gaming. Almost everybody has a cell phone. Not almost everybody has a home console.
Especially with the content that EA are releasing on consoles. Let's be honest.
Right. And then also let me point this out. There is mostly not cross-platform play on consoles, is there, Scotty?
Nope.
But I could certainly play this game with somebody that has an Android, can't I, Scotty?
You sure can.
So, cross-platform, there's a bigger community that can actually interact on your mobile games, which you've taken many away from many a deserving studio that probably could be running ruckshot over everything that you do on your own IPs. You know, you're probably not going to beat the Maddens of things because, you know, there's people that love their sports. But there are plenty of IPs that you have done on your own and that you have driven into the ground and then cast aside, and Star Wars still stands tall.
Hear, hear.
So, if you want to alienate, we get it. You have many, many different games. But if you want to alienate a huge player base of games, EA, keep it up. Because you're going in the wrong direction by muscling in on Capital Games. Let them show you they can make money without you shoving things down their throats. I now see the parallel that was perfectly given when it comes to the Q&A and a discussion that I had with our friends. And it almost happens right away. I'm looking exactly for it, Scotty. It was said by Eric himself. And I thought it was a dig at first. But after I slept on it, it's not a dig. It's solidarity. I hope, from what everything happened. I can't find it right off the bat here. Let's see. Human. Bingo. How much does it bug you that the community sentiment tends to stay so negative no matter what you do? Release new content? It's either too hard or too easy. Give us more ways to progress, and it's just a money grab. Does that bug you as a dev team, or do you somehow, and I have no idea how, take it as passionate or constructive? Thanks for all you do. I've never played a game as long. They sadly didn't give who we can,
thank for that question.
Thank for that question. But Eric said it exactly. I think it's easy to forget in both directions at times that there are real life human beings on either end of the internet. The studio is full of hardworking, largely Star Wars nerds who are trying to build a game we want to play. And it definitely hurts us when we don't hit the mark and players don't dig what we make. But it's also critically important feedback that they take seriously. And this is actually the exact thing that where they mentioned about the silent majority, because there's different kinds of players who want different and sometimes opposing things. But when you have EA forcing CG on everything, it is becoming problematic. I don't want to be negative. I hate being negative. But we need them to tell us, as I said, that they hear us. And yes, they're making investors happy by pricing these the way they do. But if they keep pushing the envelope, they're pricing people out. And we mentioned that with the Urs rant last week.
100%.
It has to end up to where we can, the things that we ask for in our game, we need them. I'm not entitled when I say this, but we certainly deserve them. I know that I'm not entitled to it, but with the hard work that we put in and the money that we've spent, even if we're free-to-play players, you guys have provided data. With the money in the data that you've given them, we do deserve this. We deserve to be heard about a sandbox mode. We deserve to be heard about talking to us a little bit more. EA, let them put out some more information. It's not Lucas. Lucas wants to celebrate they put on a thing called Celebration for the Love of Pete. Lucas is fine with people getting information as it should be put out. But it seems to me that it's Electronic Arts saying, well, I have an uncle in Canada that knows this guy who worked on it, and he says that there's a secret level.
He actually asked an apprentice to go and get a bubble for a spirit level instead.
Exactly. That kind of crap. EA, stop being stingy. I love what you've done. I love the game that you've let Capital Games produce. But fund them. Fund Capital Games. Give them what Capital Games deserves. They are game developers. They are also human beings. Give them more staff. Allow the things that... How many content creators are out there for this game? Okay?
Yep.
And then I'm going to I'm going to be a little brutal here. How many content creators have you seen for Plants vs. Zombies, Scotty? How many content creators have you seen for all the failed IPs that they've put out? Unravel or whatever the heck that was. Look at how many people put out content for this game and how many Discords there are for this game.
All lines.
Or lines or forums. It's... I hate using the word because it's more another content creator's word. But EA is problematic. Take us to a break. I gotta settle down.
Hey everyone, it is the heartthrob of the Outer Rim, your boy Urs, and you are listening to the Escape Pod cast with Paul Anthony and Scotty McLaren. Boys, I think I speak for all of us when I say you are hot, you are red hot.
Meow Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Meow will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Meow has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Meow today on Discord at all lowercase Meow number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at meowsmods@gmail.com. Meow Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod cast.
Hey there, Escape Podawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net.
Hey everyone, Biscuit Weasel here from the planet Coruscant and the HSTR project. Some of you may have seen my latest videos about my modding and Grand Arena strategy, but I want to help you personally. Head on over to patreon.com/biscuitweasel, that's Weasel with a Z, and check out my new Patreon rewards. And while they last, the first 10 people to sign up at the $10 level will get the whole $30 package for their first month. That's patreon.com/Biscuit Weasel. Remember, that's with a Z. Today.
The Escape Pod cast with Scotty McLaren and Paul Anthony.
All right, welcome back to the Escape Pod cast, and we promise you guys we're going to bring the fun right now, and this is where we're going to have a little bit of fun, Paul, because I have to have a bit of fun with you now, mate, and that is, we heard in that ad break just a second ago about Biscuit Weasel. And,
yeah, okay, so this is going to be fun?
I'm sorry, mate. I have to do this. Now, Paul,
no, you don't have to do this.
I do have to do this. Oh, I do. Paul, explain to the listeners, my friend, something that was going on for you with Grand Arena. What's the story?
I have no time, Scotty. I have no time to go and plan all of this out. But I can't believe you're doing this to me on the air, on the show itself.
We got to have some fun, man. We got to lighten things up. Come on.
Yeah, and you need to now deploy everything Your Darth Revan is now going to be platooned.
Okay, sure. I'll do that.
Jackass. Anyway.
So what happened? What happened? What happened?
So we have Biscuit Weasel that does his thing. So you know what? I was his first Patreon.
Yes.
You know, he talked to me about what can I do to create this Patreon. I was his first Patreon. And I've got a lot of stuff going on. You know this.
I'm aware.
So I'm like, Biscuit, it's time. Set my Grand Arena defense for me. Tell me what I should put.
And the reason why I ask these questions, Paul, is because who did Biscuit Weasel come to for help? Me.
Biscuit comes to you. So essentially, I should just give you the $30 a month.
Oh dear, Paul. And this is the next thing, man. What's the big thing that we talk about on this show all the time? What's one of the major issues that players in this game have? What is it, mate? Come on.
The biggest issue in Galaxy of Heroes is people's mods.
Correct. Now, let's have a look at some of Paul Anthony's mods, shall we?
Oh, Jesus.
Let's bring these up, shall we? Because these are...
Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead!
Paul, man, what are you doing? I've got to say that, look, okay, I'm not going to do that to you, but I'm going to have a bit of fun with you here. And
don't tell everybody my mod strategy. There is none.
There is no mod strategy. That's the problem. Biscuit came to me and said, Scotty, I'm sorry, Biscuit, I'm outing this, but I have to do it because it's a bit of fun. Come on. I mean, I'm his co-host. This is the sort of stuff that my co-hosts do.
I'll tell you this. Biscuit came to you because of how tragic it is.
Exactly. That's the problem. He would have been fine, dude. He would have been fine. I mean, you look at your account and you go, hey, man, that's really cool. You've got a 2-zated Gear 12 Geonosian Brood Alpha. You've got a Gear 12 3-zated Darth Revan. Fantastic. But it's the mods, man. We have a look at your team. We've got like a little bits of here, a little bits of there. It's 3.3, not it's 5, man, not 3.3. And you can tell you're the territory battle specialist, man. I can just tell you that. The NTP's just been inflated. I'm sorry.
I mean, you want to know about inflation? Yeah. So our friend Helenix and I continue to debate who has the fluffiest roster.
Yes.
I think
you win.
I think this itself proves that I have the fluffiest roster.
Man, it's impossible. It's impossible to set a defense for you in Grand Arena. It's just about near impossible. Somehow, I don't know how, but we managed to pull something together, Biscuit Weasel and myself, and we managed to get you the win.
Well, because the guy attacked one and decided to stop.
I mean, Paul. Look, and in all seriousness, man, and I got to be honest here. I hope that you guys are getting a bit of a kick out of this. It's just a bit of fun that we're having with Paul. But Paul, you seriously, dude, listen to me and listen to me carefully. You need to sit down with Macias, the Escape Podcast's official modding mayhem master. You need to, brother.
It's happening next week.
Oh,
it's happening
next week. Praise the Lord, man.
I've been waiting for him to finish with a lot of his stuff that he's got going on in his life. He had to take the bar exam because he's a lawyer or aspiring lawyer, if you will. But I knew that I am going to be a very, very special case. So I said, This ain't happening until you have time to do this. Now, for the listener lounge, you guys want to laugh along? There's the link for me.
There we go. Oh, good on you, Paul. I love your work, brother. I love your work. Fantastic, mate. Fantastic. Look, it was a bit of fun. I didn't expect that through the week. And look, shout out to Biscuit Weasel. This is the sort of stuff that Biscuit will do. He will help you out if you become one of his Patreons as well. And this is the sort of thing that Biscuit does. He's a great guy. And Paul, even though I was having a little bit of fun at your expense, man, I've got to say that was a bit of fun for me this week too, man. So I really appreciate that. It put a smile on my face after a very, very, very tough week. Getting that from Biscuit Weasel through the week, man. It just made my week.
Well, I'm glad that I could help you, make your week at my misery. You're very welcome.
Welcome to Australia, brother. Sorry.
But to answer the question, Infinity, click on the link, look at the characters. You'll understand why I'm 132 in Arena. It's because I want you to find a gray star on my roster.
Well,
look. Let me know when you find one.
You'll get good, brother. I know you will. And look, man, I'm not going to say that my mods are any better. In fact, my mods are probably a little bit better, but they're not that much better. But at least I just looked at. I mean, you've got a Wigs team, man, without any mods on it, and you've got other teams.
Well, they do now. Everybody has all mods.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. So, yeah.
And when you guys went in, I had actually asked Macias to help bump up my Geo team and my droid team because I want to start running droids in Arena.
Yeah.
Because they're all Gear 13 now.
Yeah.
With that being said, I had recently asked him to go in and pull everything off and throw it on there after Grand Arena Championships locked.
Yeah, I know, but it was a bit of fun, man.
And you got to see that after that all that happened.
I know. It was a bit of fun. I really had some fun, especially when you had a grey mod there that had only been leveled up to level 3. I was like, what are you doing, Paul? I actually told him. I actually said, you got to level that one up to level 15. It made me nearly go full Homer Simpson for Heinzie. It really did.
Yeah. So, you want to make fun of me on the whole, I wish you could gift mods. Just Sir Boss asking if we could gift mods. No, but you can make a donation and I'll go buy mods.
Paul. I'm having some fun with you. But
Infinity's given me crap for being 132 in Arena, but in the past 30 days you were at 118 yourself, Scotty. So
yeah, I was. I'm not going to deny that. That's because I completely forgot to go into Arena and get my payout. That's why on a few occasions, but. Yeah, look, and I'm still running Jedi Revan. You know why? Because Darth Malik isn't there. So, it is what it is. But, having said that, Paul, let's talk about something else. Yeah, who is Malik? When is that coming back? We don't know. It's going to come at...
soon.
Yeah, some stage.
My guess is 2 weeks. It'll be the fourth time that Territory Battles has come along, and we have no way of farming Malik to get him there.
Yeah, probably.
So, I think that is when he's coming back. And it may be before the next first round of GAC.
Yeah, you're probably right. But, Paul, I digress, man. Before we get into the incoming transmission, there is something I wanted to talk about. And that is... we finally have a new ship in the game. Yay!
And half the radios turn off. No, don't do that, because this ship cuts a lot of time off of gearing up, and leveling up and modding a standard, it takes a lot of time away from having to put it elsewhere in a game. Because this is the first pilotless ship, as damn well it should be. It is the Vulture Droid. And I love it.
It's a cool ship.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to deny that. It's a cool ship, but for what we've got currently in the game, I mean, we saw it running with the Malevolence in the actual battles to get the droid ship. And I think it's a great ship. I really do. But
I think
the
that
Malevolence
we are
look
getting
better.
a new raid. I really think that we're getting a ship raid, and Malevolence is going to be it's going to be the reward, like Treya.
Is that what you think? Really?
I think Malevolence is going to be a raid level, the first reward for a ship raid.
I'm sorry, but
just look at it. Look at how it is.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at Bowdy from the Howling Ewoks. Where's Malik with Where's Wally or Waldo? I love that. That's brilliant.
Well, did you read this week's or today's rundown? Because of the whole fact that if you take bounty hunters into a Mace Windu-led event, so there's a certain section in the rundown of territory battles that I say, where's Windu?
Yep. I saw that. I read the whole lot. And I got to say, Paul, you've actually done some pretty good stuff with your territory battle stuff, which I want to shout out to in just a moment. We'll do that. But, I do want to say that the Malevolence looks like a pretty good ship. And if we've got to farm this ship the same way that we got to farm Kenobi's ship, with the way that they've actually released the cadence of the Kenobi ship, and if we get the light side territory battles, and that's going to be the reward, just like the Negotiator is, hold your currency. This is the new ship meta, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It's my advice.
It all comes down to, delivery. How is it going to be delivered? I think ship raid.
Yeah, I think
I think you're going to need Negotiator for it, because it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
But it's all ship raid.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll go with that. Well, anyway, it's a great ship, and the Malevolence, it looks awesome. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. The droid ship themselves, look, they were fun. A bit of fun to play with, actually. The Vulture Droid, I enjoyed that. But it was even more fun when you've got the Malevolence, because you can bring 2 or 3 in, and I enjoyed that bit. That was awesome. So I thought that was great. So well done to the...
I had 4 Vulture Droids surrounded by a Houndstooth.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's brilliant. Isn't that the way that that we want to see things happen in there? And I thought that was great. So there will be a shift change in the meta. People are saying, there'll be a shift change in the meta in the arena. I don't know if that'll come just yet. I think that we'll start seeing it come in the ships area pretty soon, because I think that this has been a meta that's been there for quite some time. So it's probably time to do that and change things up a little bit. But Paul, look, I know we're going to get into the next guest, and we are running out of time, and we have to get in there. But guys, I've got to say, Paul has done an amazing job this week as our territory battle officer. Some of the things that he's been writing in the to the guild is just absolutely hilarious. In level 2, hi, fill me. Give the other one your best. Do this one. Turn down for what? He's got in there as well, which is another good one as well. I love that. I thought that was brilliant. Sea ships, fill me. That was brilliant.
How about the one? How about the one today? Did you see it?
Give me all you got. Which one?
No,
yes. Trapped inside the Wop Tambor factory. Send help. Love it. I laugh so hard at that, man. That's brilliant. And see, you can have fun in territory battles and you can have fun in territory wars. So there you go. That's all I wanted to point out, Paul. I think, well done, mate. Well done. I wanted to shout that out for everybody that's listening to the show, that Paul actually has some fun with the tags. And there's only a new thing that he's trialing out, but I thought that was good of fun. So, well done.
Well, I mean, the last second ingenuity that, you know, we were what? 400,000 short?
Yeah.
And they released a new ship?
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, take your ship, level it to 85, don't use Omegas, and throw it in. If 38 of us do it, we got this. And we got that 3rd star yesterday.
We did. And, we're looking pretty good at the moment. So, yeah, things are going really well. All right. Coming up in just a moment, Paul, we're going to be catching up with the Nev, and we'll also get into an incoming transmission as well with a great man from the Hoth Ski Patrol who's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on in territory battles as Paul catches up with him. Stick around for that. This is the Escape Podcast.
This is Cubs fan Han, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast.
Hey guys, it's the Nev here. If you want to hear more content from me, please come over to my channel. It's Nev. Simple as that. But if you're looking for me and you need to type something in the search, best put in my full name. It's Neil Andrew Eyre. You can also follow me on Twitter at PomPomtastic1, and you can find me on Discord, Nev, #9515. Hope to hear from you soon. Come on over and give me a like and a subscribe.
1, 2, 3.
Llama, what are you doing?
Well, Zed, I'm trying to count all the perks that Scotty and Paul give their Patreon supporters, but I don't think I have enough fingers.
Patreon supporters can get tons of rewards, and plans just start at $2 a month.
7. Wait, what comes after 7?
Visit patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up.
The Escape Pod Cast Guild Classifieds.
If you like pina coladas, being caught in the rain, how about you go and get me some champagne and join the Dark Lords of Pie. They pride themselves on being the most relaxed top 25 guild in the community. They only have one hard requirement, and that is sipping on pina coladas. Or getting in your 600 tickets, but don't let that fool you. They dominate territory battles and decimate their territory war opponents without the raised blood pressure and yelling officers! If you want to help push rewards in the new Geo Dark Side territory battle, the Dark Lords of Pie is for you. They just want you to be at 4.5+ million GP. Have 600 coins a day in your collection. I'm sure you can do that. Full participation in territory battle and territory war focused players. If this sounds good to you, drop by the Discord and say g'day. Simply search for swgoh.gg/G39390/Dark Lords of Pie, or head to our Discord channel to find out more. The Dark Lords of Pie. They don't just eat pie, they drink pina coladas as well.
Hi, I'm Timothy Zahn, author of Thrawn, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod, cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to the Escape Pod. Cast for kids with me, the Nev. Today we're going to discuss the tools that you need to make you and your account rock. So let's get stuck in. First things first, swgoh.gg. This site is particularly important for all aspects of your roster, giving all-round solid information about your account. You still need to know what to do to your account, but the info provided about your account from this site is an invaluable start. The Crouching Rancor is a very similar site to swgoh.gg in that it provides you with a plethora of info about the game and your account. But this site has a useful page that lists and links you to multiple useful tools, from ship speed calculators, which are useful in assisting you to make a better fleet arena squad, to Mod Manager, which you're going to need for areas of the game like GAC and TW. swgoh.life is a little known site that has some very useful tools that have both practical applications and non-practical applications, but are there just for the fun of it. Want to create your own avatar for social media? This site can do that for you quickly and with little fuss. The site has really useful tools on it that can help you find your squad arena shard and fleet arena shard. It also has some excellent calculators for farming shards, gear, and ships. SWGOH Events is a cracking website that does have a couple of useful tools on it, but the site itself is a great tool for keeping track of events. This site is great if you want to know when to prepare for events, as it shows when the events last ran and when they are due to run again. The Panic Farm calculator for all the major legendary and heroic character events is exceedingly useful, and they always get the monthly calendar up on their site once released by Capital Games. Google Docs GAC Manager is a tool I use and recommend for everyone competing in GAC. Once you put the ally codes into this document and link it to the account you create at api.swgoh.help, you will access all your opponent's vital statistics on one easy-to-read document. It's an absolute must for those boys and girls out there that take GAC as seriously as I do. On the subject of GAC, I would recommend the Grand Ivory Mod Optimizer tool. I personally found this tool to be massively useful, and once I implemented its recommendations, found that 100% of my roster received positive stat increases. It takes a couple of hours, but it's worth it. This tool is only useful, however, to novices and amateurs. If you're an expert at this game like the Dagger or DPK, then this tool is unnecessary, as those guys can remod entire rosters in excess of hundreds of characters in less than an hour. They are the God Modders, who you want to be friends with. This brings me to the most important tool of them all, Discord. Discord is not just a tool for communicating with friends, family, and guildmates. It's the most important tool you're probably ever going to come across. The main reasons for it is the bots. And what they are tools that your guild officers and guild leaders will deploy in your guild servers to help you with things from the Echo Base Station bot that helps you with territory battles. If you're not sure what bots do in your guild server, you should ask someone in your guild, because you're missing out. And if you're not on Discord, then you're probably in a guild going nowhere, and you need to immediately contact Savage Diva 412, who will look after you and find you a guild worthy. Last but not least are my inclusions of the visual tools, and these come in the form of video guides. As you fast approach becoming an endgame player, you might need some help figuring out what the best teams are. We don't always have time to theorycraft, but luckily for us, there are some great content creators out there that do this for us. There are dozens, literally dozens of content creators out there, but the two theory crafters of note I'll have you check out are DB Official 125 and It's Just Ian. Check out their YouTube channels, and the YouTube logarithm should link you to other content creators that are very similar. If you have any trouble finding any of these tools or sites containing the tools discussed today, come on over to my server and I'll point you in the right direction. That's all for me today. Thanks for joining me for Storytime with a Nev on the Escape Pod, Cast for Kids.
Hi, this is Cyphermaster SB Crumb, and you're listening to the Escape Pod, Cast.
Meow Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Macias will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Macias has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Macias today on Discord at all lowercase Macias number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at maciasmods@gmail.com. Macias Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast.
Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Yeah! For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much, much more. Contact ShittyBill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you.
Hey everyone, Biscuit Weasel here from the planet Coruscant and the HSTR project. Some of you may have seen my latest videos about my modding and Grand Arena strategy, but I want to help you personally. Head on over to patreon.com/biscuitweasel, that's Weasel with a Z, and check out my new Patreon rewards. And while they last, the first 10 people to sign up at the $10 level will get the whole $30 package for their first month. That's patreon.com/biscuitweasel. Remember, that's with a Z. Today.
The Escape Podcast with Scotty McLaren and Paul Anthony.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
And welcome to the incoming transmission for this edition of the Escape Pod Cast. And I have with me somebody who I've admired ever since I became a territory battle officer. And they have put out infographics that I have passed along. They pass it along the community. I pass it along to my guild, and I am grateful for this person. Meow Baca, welcome to the Escape Podcast.
Well, thank you, Paul. It's great to be on here, and I'm contractually obligated to add the pregnant pause there on the podcast, right?
You very well may. You know, I don't hold the guests to it, but I certainly do.
Okay.
So, you know, we're going to get into the whole. We're going to get into these infographics in a moment, but I want to make people familiar with you. Who is Meow Baca? How long have you been playing? What are you, a collector? Are you a lean, mean fighting machine? What's your preferred? You know, what is truly actually your preferred mode of the game and things like that?
Okay, so I've played since right around when the Rogue One came out on Blu-ray, and so I think it was like around March or April of whenever the year after. The calendar year after the game launched. So pretty close to launch. I was just a super casual player for probably like a good year. I'd climb up into the top 500 or the top 200 in Arena. But then my guild that I was in, we're just spinning our wheels in the tank raid. And so after months of that, we did a merger, and we ended up with an ally guild of the Hoth Ski Patrol. And then me and some of the other guys from my guild, we ended up in Hoth Ski Patrol. So that's my background. I am more of I like collecting. I don't have one of these lean, mean rosters. So Grand Arena matchmaking, I'm ended up facing some of the lean, mean rosters. So I'm not like these guys who have to go up against a 500k GP above them. Sometimes it's the other way around. So I'm a collector as well, and I'm
I kept making the joke inside the cast Discord server that I have all these 7-star characters. I'm a territory battle officer, so I'm kind of like Barf from Spaceballs. I'm a Mog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. So being able to platoon for myself is a very, very nice thing. But yeah, I do run into those. All my GP is because of the stars and not the gear and not the level. So I run into those really, really tough matchups. Yeah. All 3 of my round 3 of GAC were all against Malix, and I'm going, what in the world?
No, do you gear all your guys to level 85 and gear 8?
No, I go gear 50, or I think it's 50 where you could start throwing mods on them. Yeah. So I have a backup of mods that I can play around with. So I gear everybody up to 50, and every once in a while I'll pick up one, put them in the favorites, and start gearing them up as I'm working on the current faction that I'm currently working on. If I see they have a full matrix, I'll slap it on there, even if it hurts the faction I'm working on.
Yeah, and if you want to use the mod tools, you got to have a mod equipped. And so if I have a mod that's like, this might be a good mod, I'll stick it on, one of those level 50 guys. Yeah. But I did a few weeks ago. I found an 18-speed something on Ugnaught. I'm like, how did I forget about this thing?
Do not ask. Macias is going to be doing my roster soon. He took a look early and he goes, I hate you. So we'll see how everything comes out here. I'm slowly climbing with my all gear 13 Grievous team. We'll see how this goes. Nice. Yeah. Nice. I just did that actually just before starting this recording. So that was quite fun.
Congrats! That's a good squad.
Thank you. Now, we're certainly getting to know you. Now, you mentioned a merger that happened. So Hoth Ski Patrol was around, and then you guys and your guild decided to take the best of the best, and you ended up with the top tier, huh?
No, well, we joined up with so Hoth Ski Patrol is in the leaderboards. If you look at like the GP Stars leaderboard, we usually end up at the top of any tiebreaker because I think they formed like the day guilds were created or became an option, and so we always get like the guild ID tiebreaker. They were. It started out as there were a bunch of guys, and they were all shard mates, and it was I think it was a launch shard, and all these guys, and there were like 2 different shard chats, and so they were rival shard chats, just beating at each other. And then when the Sith raid came out, or not the Sith, the tank raid came out, they had a little a powwow, smoked the peace pipe, and they merged to make one guild. And so we joined, and so Hoth Ski Patrol was the heroic tank guild, and then their ally guild was Knights of the Mobile Republic. So we had joined with their ally guild that was not heroic tank. So, gotcha. But over the course of time, I moved up to the Hoth Ski Patrol, and then so that's where I've been for a while. But yeah, it used to be that I think that there were maybe like 20 plus people in their arena shard all in the same guild.
Wow. That's a history lesson.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of retirements, not quite so many left, but yeah.
So Hoth Ski Patrol, you guys, let's see. I'm blanking right now. I apologize. Which came first? Hoth territory battles or the tank?
The tank.
Okay, so eventually, I found you guys when I got tapped to be the territory battle officer, and I'm looking at all this info.
That job too.
What's that?
I said that's been part of my job, and it's a thankless, miserable job chasing all these people down.
Okay, so Scotty's not here. Do you know how hard it is to deal with an Aussie during platoons? But no, seriously, it's all. You started doing all of this. You were the territory battle officer, and you created this really cool infographic, kind of like a pamphlet for people to farm specific characters, as farm specific teams. And you had your Rolo team with the Hoth Scouts and all that. You had, we're going back to Hoth for this right now. You wanted your Rogue One team, you wanted your Phoenix team. You kind of did the 5 pillars that Warrior did, but you did it for territory battles. And I loved it. I loved preaching about what you need to do to pass territory battles as a guild.
Yeah, and wasn't it kind of fun or interesting back then when it was figuring out which gear levels worked and which Zetas were absolutely required, and some you could do you could go all the way through phase 5 with your Hoth bros at gear 8. It didn't matter as if you had strong Luke and Han, but yeah, it was I don't know, there were a lot more options for Hoth just because there's so many more rebels,
right?
So it made for some, you had to make choices and decisions like personally as a guild about what you were going to go after or what was the best way or the cheapest way to clear a battle.
Yeah, I mean, you still are in a way, but they have made it, and I'm sure that's the same point you're making. They've made it to where you do need these gear 13 for territory battles. They don't make things anymore for beginner guilds to be able to clear it entirely. I'd be fine if I could smash the Geo territory battle and decide, am I going to do Hoth this week? Am I going to do Geo this week? Do I want to go after Wat Tambor shards? At the same difficulty level. In my opinion, that would actually be a really, really fun thing. Do I want to get 2 or do I want to get 1? They added some really cool stuff to get 1, but I don't have get 1.
Yeah.
That's just a wish list. But these infographics, how did you get suckered? I mean, how did you decide that you wanted to do this?
I think that the first time I made them was remember it was the elite snowtroopers and then the elite snowtrooper commanders and then the guys with the black backpack.
Yes.
I can't remember what he's called, but
black backpack guy.
Yeah, black back. So, but they would, you'd enter a wave and you'd have like all your abilities on cooldown, full health, full protection, whatever. Your Finn squad is back when Finn was a thing and before JTR, and he would just carry your resistance through. But then once in a while, you'd enter a wave, you'd do something, you'd do an AoE, whatever, and then all of a sudden you'd either get countered to death, or one guy would take a turn, and then like 10 of them would go all at the same time. And I was just like, what the hell? I don't know what these guys are doing. So that's when I went through and I read their ability kits, and I put together a little chart for myself and for the guild, so we would know, okay, so here's who you should prioritize landing days on because they will call assists, that kind of thing. So that was the genesis of that first thing I put together was the enemies and then the gear levels of squads that could pass waves.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's absolutely It's absolutely crucial in those early stages to be able to do things like that. But it's now become so tedious. You know, am I going to get Padme in the end, or am I going to get Pons? You know, it's a variety now.
Yeah, and at least and it was always sort of a gamble. In Hoth, you never know if you were going to get all Snowtrooper elites or all Snow Commander elites in the 6th wave, and that could make or break your run. But at least in the special missions, you always knew what you were going to get. And on that Phase 5 with CLS, you were always going to face Vader, right? And so you could at least plan and figure out a best counter. But the special missions now, it's one or the other. It can be Shaak Ti in Phase 3, or it can be clones. And so in the Phase 1 special mission, first week I took Magna Guard, and this is all Gear 12, and I encountered Shaak Ti and got mowed down, and people said, "Oh, take Dooku. Dooku's better, especially if you run into Shaak Ti." And so I took Dooku, and I didn't face Shaak Ti, and I just got slaughtered in the 4th wave of the P1 special.
Well, I you are an admitted listener to this show, and I think I expressed very similar distaste when I brought in my bounty hunter team, and all of a sudden Mace Windu's sitting on the other side, and I'm going, damn. So I'm taunting with Bosk and trying to get his attention with Greedo. But no, he took one look at Mace and was like, I remember this part of the movie.
I wonder if they've coded that in, like he will always prioritize Django.
They had to with how bad I got slaughtered, man. They absolutely had to.
And remember when the teaser trailer came out, we're like, oh, maybe Jango's going to get a Separatist tag. And it's like they went the other way and made Django a liability.
They did. I'm like, oh man, I'm so excited. Django's going to have a special mission. Yeah, it's a special mission to stay away from Mace. Now, I do want to talk about the current Geonosis territory battle separatist gearing guide that the Hoth Ski Patrol has put out here. You once again have your teams, which I love this. I absolutely love this. How much more do you think that you're going to be expanding on these teams? You know, it's currently version 1 that was released last month. So,
yeah, and I there was the rumored, or CJ had said something to where we sort of knew a Geo rework was coming,
right?
And so, at least for our guild, and I put this together with my guild in mind, and at least for our guild, it doesn't change anything, and there's no new Zetas, thankfully, on the Geos. I think that the next big version would be with these iconic items, because it still feels like this thing is just overtuned like crazy. And I don't know. I'm not keen on Gear 13 all of my Separatists. I know we've got some that have, but I'm not keen on doing that quite yet. So I think that will be the next big revision. Next, I want to, but in the meantime, I want to maybe give a little more attention to the Zetas and why some are good or some aren't good.
Yeah, because you do have in that priority to hold off on Alpha Lead in case Geo rework that makes Puggle more viable. That didn't happen.
Not happening. Yeah, but say the Geonos and Brood unique Zeta, I think is now less important, because you summon the brute, the brute. You summon the brute at the beginning of battle, and it's going to stay with you And so you don't necessarily, I don't know, need it for those first few enemies.
Yeah, but, He usually dies in phase 3 for me, and it's just after I've cleansed everybody and healed them.
So, but if he dies in phase 3 and you enter phase 4 with him dead, will he summon?
He does not summon until you resummon him. So, the next thing I do is, I did it the first time. I failed just this last time, sadly, because I had no other recourse than to say, Rocket Trooper,
Oh, yeah.
But he did get summoned with a high-end bug. So, he was a little beefy. And I don't know we may cover this in the beginning, but I found out that if you use a Gear 13 character to summon that Rocket Trooper, the Rocket Trooper itself is Gear 13 as well. So it helps to, Gear 13 a lesser player in the bug team to summon that Rocket Trooper if Brood goes down.
Okay.
Just my little tip. Maybe you can add that and put at the bottom. Thanks, Paul Anthony.
Okay, will do. But yeah, so I thought that maybe the Zeta priority for Brood might flip to the lead. You want the lead just because the additional bonus. But I think both Zetas is sort of like Zera or Asajj. You just want both Zetas on her. Regardless of the Geo territory battle, so you want both for the Brood Alpha. But yeah,
I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. And then, you put Count Dooku. It's probably because of the Phase 4 mission, but you put Count Dooku as the number 4th priority.
Yeah, and so the first territory battle, I had him Gear 12, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to Zeta him. When those conversations that come up on servers once in a while, like, hey, what's your worst Zeta ever? And the two that would always come up were like Sidious and Dooku. People would always talk about them being their worst Zetas, and so here I'm sitting in Phase 2 thinking, okay, we've got this Dooku Asajj mission. Surely Dooku's going to be useful because this geo territory battle is the thing for the next year and a half or so. So I put the Zeta on him, and I cleared that mission, and then I get to Phase 4, and I made it to the second wave, and I was just immediately slaughtered by it. I think it might have just been Padawan Anakin, Grandmaster Yoda, and General Kenobi. Where I took a turn where I called in the Hailfire, and then they just wiped me. So I'm sort of in the okay. Is Dooku Zeta going to be a big regret for me? Well,
no. I mean, with getting through where you're at in Phase 2. Getting those 3 stars in the middle, that I'm finally glad that I had Zeta Dooku.
Yeah.
So it did work out. But it's all about, I love how you guys don't mind sharing this information. As a community member, as a territory battle officer, I'm very grateful to Hoth Ski Patrol for this. And I do think that these iconic items are going to be what ends up becoming what it takes to get past Phase 4 stuff.
Yeah.
So
I hope.
We hope. Yeah, and I'm sure you'll add that into the thing. Make sure that you get the Geo Brood Alpha's necklace. It'd probably be his shield. It probably will be his shield.
What will these iconic items be? Yeah. I mean, some of them are obvious, exactly. But some of them, I don't know.
Yeah, we know Lobot's headset. We know Yoda's staff. We know all this stuff. What is going to be Cup's iconic item?
the cup. The jock, protective jock strap.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to go out on a limb for Rostico's guaranteed item, which, because Scotty didn't show up right now, I think that his punishment should be going after Rostico's item the first time as his first iconic item. And that'll be the necklace. Do you remember the necklace?
I don't. So...
Okay, so it's that necklace that's featured at the beginning, and then she gives it to Benicio del Toro.
Her sister was her sister had half of it.
Yeah, it was her sister. Exactly. It was a little yin yang symbol like kind of thing. So
now we do have we have a Zeta Rose or two in our guild.
Yeah, well, we do too because Scotty lost the bet. So, Now we're talking about territory battles, though. We're slightly getting off topic here, but we're talking about territory battles, and we know in the road ahead that we were told about a light side territory battle. We're obviously getting clones. We already know that there's reworks coming for Galactic Republic Jedi. Who's going to be in the background like Asajj and Jango were? That are going to be the people that we go, oh, why didn't we think of that? Who do you think's going to be back there that we already have?
In the back. Yeah, so I might not be the best person to ask because when I started, I've basically watched the movies. And so, even then, I don't know all the details on the movies. I know more about Star Wars from this game than I do from anything else. But so I watched a few episodes of the Clone Wars TV show, but I just never really stuck with it. So I watched maybe the first 5 or 10. So as far as who might be in the background of Clone, the devs came out and said no, but I was really hoping for Jar Jar.
Oh man.
But he's somebody that we don't already have. But yeah, so I right now I'm just kind of hoarding gear because in that Q&A they also said, oh hey, this Malak type event, we want to do more of them. Stay tuned. And so I would guess it has something to do with the light side of this clone era content. So I'm just trying to not spend any crystals and just slow gear my clones who are horrible right now. But at the same time in the Q&A they said, well, we're not doing all of the clones, just some. And so I don't want to I don't want to get like a Gear 12 Echo and then him be completely useless.
Well, I mean, we're going to be in the same boat. We're going to be absolutely in the same boat. But I'm going to pull open the game right now and remind myself all of these people that are Galactic Republic. So it's going to be loading for just a second. I'm going to fill the airtime with one clone. If you could have one clone added, who would you want? Of what you've seen.
Oh, geez, I don't know any clones really.
Okay, so I pulled it up just in time here. So people that we do not know the actual names of some of these people. We have the Coruscant Underworld Police. There's Cup in the Galactic Republic faction.
Galactic Republic. Oh, nice.
Yes, and so is Jedi Knight Guardian. Or Elf Girl, as a lot of people called her when they started this game.
Now, so are you ready? So with Negotiator coming out, are you ready to Gear 12 another Galactic Republic that is the butt of a lot of jokes, that is Jedi Consular?
Well, Jedi Counselor is also in this. I mean,
yeah,
he's in the Galactic Republic faction. Also the one person that was in one episode and is in the game before Hondo Ohnaka, who's been in multiple episodes of multiple series. But I'm a Gundai.
He was in one episode of the Clone Wars.
He was in one episode of the Clone Wars.
No, he was a thing back in Phase 1 of the Heroic Tank Raid, wasn't he?
back in the day when we had the worst teams ever. Yes.
when it was like, okay, these are the teams that could maybe get 2%.
Yeah, it's the same as before we got Aura Singh, bounty hunters in phase 3 of the heroic Sith. So, but are there any wish lists for content within the territory battle that that you want to be able to see and write about in the next light side infographic for Hoth Ski Patrol?
Yeah, Jar Jar would be the one that would be cool, just because I really, my knowledge basically begins and ends at the movies. But what is this Delta Squad? I hear people talk about Delta Squad a lot, but no, I hope that Mace Windu gets some justice. He was pretty cool in the movies, and apparently if you go beyond the movies, he was an extremely powerful Jedi. So he's been a weak. I mean, he had one little moment that was very brief during the fleet meta with his timeout ship. So it feels like he is somebody that would be due for a big overhaul, not what do they call them, touch-ups or reworks. So I think that he would be
touch-up and rework. So he gets the touch-up.
I think he would need a rework because he's so bad.
So do you think that it would be, I would like to see Mace Windu, Kit Fisto. I know that it wasn't Eth Koth in there, and maybe Ayla Secura. I know she died on another planet, but they're the closest to the arresting Council Jedi. I'd like to see a special mission a la the Dukaj mission of the dark side. That's what I would like to see. I'd like to see Mace Windu go after Chancellor Palpatine.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we need a new Palpatine. A different Palp.
That we do. We need Chancellor Palpatine.
Because Darth Sidious is Palpatine, right? And
exactly.
And Palpatine. So
we're not supposed to know that yet.
Okay. But this is reminding me that when I would write the Hoth Ski reports, and I would
love those.
I would make up these stories, and I would have to say like, oh, this so and so character from whatever. I would have to go onto like the Star Wars wiki and just look up places and locations, because I don't know any of this stuff. So I'd be googling the Star Wars wiki trying to figure out, okay, so which planet is so and so from. So this conversation is kind of exposing my supreme ignorance on anything Star Wars.
You're passionate about the game, though, which is the reason why we want to have you
on. For sure.
But that's awesome. That's awesome. But we have hit our time. And I absolutely appreciate having you on, and I certainly hope that we can have you on again in the future when Lightside Territory Battles drops.
Yeah.
You think you can make that happen for us?
Yeah, that would be great. Would love to do that.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Meow Baca, for coming on. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in the bridge right now. After we get back from the break, we'll be answering those questions live. And it's all about territory battles and the Q&A. If we missed something at the beginning of this show, hit us up. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Escape Pod cast.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and you are listening to the Escape Pod cast.
Meowbacca Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Meowbacca will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Meowbacca has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Meowbacca today on Discord at all lowercase Meowbacca number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at meowbaccasmods@gmail.com. Meowbacca Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod Podcast.
Hey there, Escape Padawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Podcast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net.
Hey guys, it's the Nev here. If you want to hear more content from me, please come over to my channel. It's Nev. Simple as that. But if you're looking for me and you need to type something in the search, best put in my full name. It's Neil Andrew Eyre. You can also follow me on Twitter at PomPomtastic1, and you can find me on Discord, Nev, #9515. Hope to hear from you soon. Come on over and give me a like and a subscribe.
1, 2, 3.
Llama, what are you doing?
Well, Zed, I'm trying to count all the perks that Scotty and Paul give their Patreon supporters, but I don't think I have enough fingers.
Patreon supporters can get tons of rewards, and plans just start at $2 a month.
7. Wait, what comes after 7?
Visit patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up.
And now time for something completely shameless.
This is your favorite YouTuber's favorite Greek-American Swuggo YouTuber from the greater New York City area, whose name has 8 letters, beginning with an H and ending with an X. Wanna guess who, TC14? Come on, guess.
Horsebox.
Try again.
Meowbox.
Seriously?
Horsebox.
You know what? Just forget it. I was trying to get you to say Hellenics, you dumb droid. Anyway, welcome back to the Escape Pod cast with your hosts, Paul Anthony and Scotty McLaren. Take it away, boys. I have a droid to disassemble.
Oh,
The Escape Pod Cast. The Bridge.
Yes, and welcome back to the bridge. And look, I've got to say too, guys, that it's nice to be back here once again on the bridge. And look, we've got a couple of questions which have come our way. But first things first, I have to actually say that, look, it's one of the big things that we love to do, if you are a Patreon or even if you're not, is that during the week we like to go into the loading dock and we like to have some fun in there. And not just myself, but other listeners of the show, they just all get in there, they all have a chat, and it's all about the loading dock, guys. So if you ever want to be a part of it, make sure that you are, Paul.
Yeah, it truly is a lot of fun to be able to interact with the listeners throughout the week. You know, we make sure, we never know exactly when we're going to be in the loading dock. You know, it's usually a Wednesday when I'm on my way to or from hosting. You pop in there, in the evenings, Australian time, mornings for the U.S., just when you're wanting to talk about the latest stuff, getting ideas and feedback. But, with the Patreons, of course, 100% you guys always get the after show right after we broadcast the show live, or if it's one of those crazy, crazy weeks that we can't even move it, that we pre-record. So,
yeah,
it's a lot of fun. We love interacting with our people. So, click on the description if you're listening to this on your podcast, or click the description on YouTube and join our server. We'd love to have you, and, we love communicating with you guys a lot.
Absolutely. Could not agree with you more. And look, we got a question here from Hellenix saying, can we ask the developers to use Google and search for named clone troopers before releasing any new clones for us? Great question. Hellenix, there you go, man. We just asked it for you. I'm sure that the developers have heard that, so no doubt we'll get that in the road ahead, the next one. So, and Sir Boss, yeah, you'll never read anything again in any other voice than my own. Thank you, Sir Boss. I'm so glad that you get to hear everything in my voice, man. That must give you nightmares, and you must sit in the corner sucking on your thumb, calling out to mummy from time to time if you hear that, man. So sorry, bro.
Bodhi actually asks a question. Bodhi asks, should every character... I hate that word. They're not toons. They're not cartoons. Some of them came from cartoons, but they're not cartoons. Should every character have an iconic item, or should it be only for iconic characters? Well, they already said every single one is going to have something. So it's going to further balance, and that's some of the stuff we didn't get to in the Q&A portion when we were talking about it. Is that every character has one? So we're going to get as Meow Baca said, we're going to get Cup's jockstrap, and we're going to get Rose Tico's.
Who's jockstrap? Cubs fan Han's jockstrap.
No, Cups.
Oh, Cups. Oh, sorry. I thought you said Cubs.
Police.
Oh, I thought you said Cubs' jockstrap. Jeez, that'd be that'd be a great gear piece for Cup.
Yeah, Han Solo gets a Chicago Cubs hat.
I love it. Look, Heinzie's asked us a question in the listener lounge as well, and look, all I'm going to say is that Heinzie, mate, you want me to ask the question about that, but the thing is, man, is I already know the answer, and it's because of the rock hard abs. That's all I'm going to say, man. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to know the question, have a look up earlier, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The rock hard abs. There you go. Heinzie's got the rock hard abs, if you ever want to know, guys. Apparently, he's one of those guys that, he leans up against one of the... you're the bigger guy, and you can lean up against the fence, and you can get the six-pack happen. It's pretty good stuff. But anyway, moving it on. It is called fencing.
One of the things, let's while we're looking for a few more questions here, and I do also have to thank the Patreons before we get out of here. But while we're talking about things, one thing we didn't cover was how they're going to be putting out a road ahead and then a state of the galaxy.
Oh, yeah. Road ahead, state of the galaxy. For mine, can I just say that the road ahead that we got was probably more of a state of the galaxy. But anyway.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting, but I think they did miss the point. I think instead of the state of the galaxy, I honestly think they should have called it the state of the Techno Union.
I love it. Sir Boss sent out a tweet, and lots of love to our girl Carrie Guskus, who's not with us at the moment, and Grace Gamer, thank you very much for that. But Sir Boss just sent out a nice tweet saying, Carrie, you should join the Escape podcast, we love and miss you. Look, Carrie's still around with us, and she'll always be with us, guys. She's one with the Force, and the Force is with her. So she'll be around with us. I'm sorry, I had to use that line, man. I've been looking for a way to use that line for quite some time, Paul. I really have. But which is always good. Hey, Jalimi's been with us throughout most of the evening here tonight, and I've got to send in a bit of a shout out to that guy too, an absolute legend who's been with us for most of the evening, which is great to see. And I believe he's going to be asking us a question in a second. You never know with Jalimi what he's going to be asking, but
nope, just cheers.
Cheers, Scotty. Oh, thanks, mate. No worries. Well, Jalimi, man, we love you. Anyway, moving on. And Paul, I wanted to do something really quick, man, if you'll indulge me. If you will let me do this. I know that you are, because it's too late. I'm already going to do it. England, at the time of the podcast at T, are all out for 374. Australia in their first dig were 284. And, yeah, you know what? At present, in a 5-game test match series, I do have on the line my Han Solo.
It's 5 games, Scotty.
The veteran Han.
Yeah, your Han Solo.
To get him to gear 13. If we lose this, we can't lose this, Paul. We can't lose this. Nevy's got to put up his Chewbacca, the veteran Chewbacca. Yeah, Rostico. Nevy's got to put that up.
This is just the first one. This is just the first one of 5. So, it'll be all right.
Yeah. So, yeah, Rose Tico, always fun. Always fun. Well, Paul, I think it's possibly time to say thank you to our Patreons, mate. Go for it.
All right, I'm gonna if for some reason I say you're a name that you don't want me to say, let me know and I'll get you corrected next time. Happy birthday, Tenpool. We definitely have to shout out to our boy Tenpool. So we also have Adam, Danku, Sobi, Charlie, Dano. We got another Dan, Dan P. We've got Daniel, David. We've got another David. We've got a few. We've got Buzzsaw. We've got E-Grace Gamer. We've got Ghost. We've got Heinzie. We've got Ian. We've got Mohican. Actually, Mohican's no longer a Patreon. You should come back, Mohican. We miss you. John K, John O, Caden Ace. We've got Kurt. We've got DPK himself. We've got Michael. We've got Newbie Gaming. We miss you, Newbie Gaming. You know, we got to have you on. Reach out. We've got Ollie, Tupaca. We've got Savage Diva. Uber. Talk to me after the show. We've got Urzatron and the one, the only Zed. Thank you very much to all of our loved Patreons. You guys rock. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely, man. I could not agree with you more. And a big thank you to all of you guys for being a part of this as well. It's been absolute mayhem tonight with some of you guys, but I've loved every second of this, man. Tonight, it's been a lot of fun, and nice to see that Heinzie's changed his name to Rose Tico. He's one of my boys. I love that. And look, I've also got to say a big thank you to a fellow content creator, two of them that are actually in here or three of them actually that are in here with us tonight as well. It's always good to see these guys supporting the show. Mick Mole, man, I'm a big fan. He knows that, and especially guys, you've got to be watching his channel. And when these clones drop, he's the man you need to turn to. He knows everything about these clones, so you better be going to check him out. Now, that's right, Mick Mole. Go and check him out as soon as those clones get that rework. You need to be watching him. E-Grace Gamer is also another guy that you need to be going to hang out with as well. And Helenix, someone else that is another very, very good friend of ours too, which is always good. Oh, and
Absolutely.
the Nev.
And with that, I'm not seeing any more questions. So, Scotty, it's time. You still have that button from last week, right?
I still do. It's here somewhere.
All right. Well, Scotty, push the button.
Don't mind if I do.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit. Good dog.